The Passionate Leader, because leadership without passion is just the title.
Meeting. We got a collapse in the garage. Get the squad back coming in here. We got an IV gone to a firefighter.
Get that out. Urgent. Transmit a second along.
This is where titles end and leadership begins. Ask yourself this. When people lose everything in a single moment, who actually shows up after the sirens shut off? And are you willing to be that person to build something that does? Today's guest is Heather Miller, the founder and president rather of Pennsylvania Next Response. Heather leads an organization built to help families recover from emergencies and hardships, providing real support when people are left starting over from nothing. She also serves as the president of the Glitzen Fire Company and its Relief Association, is a certified firefighter, a CPR instructor, and balances all that with a full-time career as a system deployment specialist. Her leadership blends community service, operational discipline, and technical expertise. Backed by a master's degree in information technology with a specialization in security and quality assurance, Heather's fire service journey began through her daughters and friends and later came full circle when she discovered her grandfather once served as fire chief at the same station where she started. That sense of legacy shows up in how she leads and the standards she refuses to compromise. This conversation is about stepping up when the work is unglamorous, protecting your values when serving others, and understanding that real leadership often starts after everyone else has gone home. Let's get to it. Welcome to The Passionate Leader, Heather Miller. How are you?
Ed, how are you doing today?
Good. So, the small background story, Heather's my mother-in-law, and she is currently here to help me recover from major surgery. So we took the opportunity to try to put a show together, and we're going to make it work. She also, like I said in the intro, she runs Pennsylvania Next Response, which I think it rivals some big next call agencies in the world out there and specializes specifically in the Pennsylvania area. So I kind of gave a rundown of where you are and whatnot, but I mean, I suppose why don't you give the audience a little bit more of a brief overview of who you are and kind of where Pennsylvania Next Response came from.
As JP said, I am Heather Miller. Pennsylvania Next Response. I mean, we started this organization because we see so much where people have lost everything. Fires late at night, domestic situations, losses of jobs, and they're having a hardship. It's a tough time for them to be going through. So we wanted to be able to step in and help. Um, we've seen too many friends, family, going through these horrible situations. And a friend of mine who is the co-founder, her name is Jackie, and she is also our vice president. So her and I talk a lot. We think a lot alike with different aspects of things. And I had been wanting to do this for over a year before we had started. And, life gets in the way and you don't get a chance to do some of the things you want to do. Um, then and I wanted to do this because of family and friends that I had seen going through all this. So then we had a really bad situation in the town where I live where a family of, I'm not sure exactly how many there are. I want to say there's 6 or 8 of them. Um, but this family had a fire and it was on Christmas. The night, Christmas Day, they spent the whole day together, went to bed, woke up to a fire. And by the end of the evening, the house was on the ground. They had lost absolutely everything. So long story short, I had a dog at the time who was very ill and needed to go to the vet. So the next morning we get up, Jackie and I take my dog to the vet. And when they take her out to do her testing, Jackie looks at me and says, "So I have this idea." And my exact words were, "Get out of my head." Because we do this to each other all the time. We get in each other's heads. and she was pretty much pitching me this idea that I had been wanting to do. So we, decided that was how we were gonna, address these issues that we're seeing, these situations, and that was December 26th, 2003.
Mm,
I said, "I wanna go live on the 1st." The 1st is always a good day to start new things, right? New adventures. Let's do it on the 1st, which left us, what, like 5 days? Uh, by January 1st, we had our website, we had our Facebook, we had our email, we had our phone number, we had everything going, and I said, "We're rolling." So that's what we did is the 1st of 2024, we said, "We're live," and
that's
that's when it all
fantastic.
began. Yeah.
Um, was it a specific was it the nature of the call that you guys had that was finally the kick in the ass that the program needed, or was it just sort of a cumulative thing of, seeing families struggle post-call and stuff like that, that was really the catalyst for you guys to get started?
I would say it's a little bit of a mixture. So we had watched, I know, one of my cousins, I was raised as that they were my sisters, and my one cousin lost her house to a fire. I watched what she went through. We've had so many friends that have gone through this situation as well. That, and then just being a first responder, you see these families going through these situations. And the type of person that I am, it weighed on me. I wanted to be able
Mm,
to help. I want to help them. So that fire was the kick in the ass.
okay,
So
alright.
as much as we wanted to, we saw that and it was just like, okay, no more excuses. We need to do this. We need to do it now. And that's what we did.
Nice. What, what have been some of the, highs and lows as far as getting the nonprofit up and running and off the ground and stuff like that?
Highs and lows. Highs are definitely being able to help people. When you see the look on their face and their reactions and, you know, so many of them are very grateful that, there's somebody out there that's just going to step up and help them out. Like the family I was talking about and so many others that we've seen, they get out of their house and they have nothing but the clothes on their backs. And that's just
Mhm.
not a fire situation. These can be domestic situations where that was their opportunity where they could leave and they had to leave right now. They
Yep.
have nothing. So we're able to step up, at least here's some clothing. Now we accept pretty much anything that we can store. If we have the storage for it, we'll take it. And then whatever we have, we give. There's no fees, no nothing. It's just if we have it, we give it. Um, we have had everything from obviously the clothing to household items, furniture, appliances, and if like I said, if we can store it, we keep it. If we don't, a lot of the time, I'll go on our Facebook page and, "Hey, is anybody, looking for a couch?" And first come, first serve. Whoever
Mhm.
needs it and, wants it, then we get that to them, or, we meet up and have them come and get it. Um, Lowe's, I think it's not I wouldn't call it lows, I call it challenges. So
Okay. All right.
we've had some challenges, along the way. You have to obtain all the right paperwork. You have to make sure, your business is an actual business. It's registered with the state, registered with the IRS, you know, um, then getting your 501, go for your 501(c)(3). It's not a simple process. It's not a quick process. It's
Mhm.
something, you got to work at it. Um, Definitely learning curve is you have to have the right people in line. Um, you have to have your lawyer, you have to have your accountant. Make sure that they are very capable of doing the services that you need them to do for you. Um, Patience, a lot of patience. Yeah. And that's a tough one for me. I'm an Aries. I want it done now. Come on.
Well, clearly because you went from the 26th of December to the 1st of a year to get this damn thing
Right.
running.
There's
To
no
the
way to.
501(c)(3, was
Sure.
it something that you felt was the best option and, I don't want to say bang for the buck, but the right path for the movement, or was there a thought that you could even do it without becoming a 501(c)(3)?
So technically, we could do it as a 501 or without being a 501. Um, it's better to be one because of the donations you're receiving.
Mhm.
You're also eligible for more opportunities.
Okay.
So going for grants, um, monetary donations. We wanted to make sure that we could be able to report everything correctly, have the bank account ready to go, anything for taxes or whatnot, because we had to do our tax exempt. We went with that route.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's something you want to make sure you have all of your ducks in a row, and it was definitely a better option for us.
Sure. How long would you say the process to go from we're going to go to a 501(c)(3) to actually becoming one, took you guys?
Well, there were some challenges.
Of
So
course.
technically, it should not have taken us as long as what it did.
Sure.
So we had a great attorney, and he
Yep.
got everything in line. Like everything was perfectly in line for us, and I misunderstood. There's actually like two kind of different parts to the 501. So you have to have the
Mhm.
legal aspect of it. You also have the accounting aspect of it, like with the
Okay.
IRS. So we had the legal aspect of it for a long time, like over a year, and then
Mm.
realized we didn't have the other side, which we thought we did.
Okay.
So we then had an accountant who had some struggles,
Okay.
and
That's fair enough.
yeah,
Safe.
and he had some personal issues that came up.
Fair.
And
Yep.
from March through, oh, I want to say it was October. Yeah, March through about September, October, somewhere in there. He was to be applying for this for us, and we found out it never happened.
Okay. All
So
right.
we
That
did,
happens. Yep.
yeah. So we did change accountants, and within a month we had it.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Um, what areas in Pennsylvania are you guys currently serving and stuff like that?
Well, it's mostly central Pennsylvania. So, or not mostly, it is central PA right now. We can't go too far because of, you know, we're the ones mostly delivering, and there's only a
Yep.
few of us involved. So we do serve Bedford, Blair, Cambria, Clearfield, Huntington, and Indiana counties right now.
Mm. I'd
So
say
six
roughly probably the
six
size
different
of Rhode
counties.
Island.
Yeah.
But and it started off, correct me if I'm wrong, it started off in Cambria County, correct?
Yes, it started off in Cambria County, like I said, January 1st. In July of that year, we decided to have a clothing drop off,
Mhm.
and we had such an overwhelming response. I mean, it was such a gift. Um, but by the end of the day, in the long run, I wanted to get to Blair County. I'm originally a Blair County girl. That's where I was born,
Yep, yep.
raised, lived most of my life. I wanted to get to Blair County eventually as well. So at the end of that day in July, and we had all those donations, I looked at Jackie and just said, "We're going to Blair County. Like, we're just doing it." And
Sure.
yep, that's what we're going to do. So I went to Blair. So we just had the two counties for a little while. And then we had somebody who had contacted us. And they technically it was, like, right on the line. Technically, they were what was considered, I think it was when we went to Huntington County, they were right on the line where they weren't in Blair or Cambria. And
Mm,
I said, "I can't say no. I just can't do it. I can't say no. They're so close. It was a
mhm.
young family. We're doing it." So we ended up in 3 counties.
Yeah. All
And
right.
then it was, well, Indiana County was right on the border of Cambria, so why don't we do Indiana? So we basically went around Cambria County and said anything touching Cambria, except for 2. There are 2 counties that we are not going to yet. I say that because they're so large, it would be hard for us to actually accommodate all that.
Sure.
Although we did have the one county, this was just a couple weeks ago, we had a fire company that was toned out. They were called for a residential fire, totally engulfed. They lost absolutely everything, realized it was the chief's house.
Okay. Yep.
So there were a lot of people reaching out to others trying to get, supplies for them and help them out. So we did. Even though they were in that one county that we're not serving quite
Mm.
yet, we said, "I don't care. This is the fire service. We're trying to keep that as the brotherhood, right?
Hmm.
So we're helping. We're not saying no." So we did.
That's awesome. Um, Man, I had a question to ask. Oh, so how I know with some of the bigger, similar, nationwide rated companies and stuff, and I'll try to be careful because we try to not infringe upon things, but they
Mhm,
usually will listen to scanners and stuff like that. So if somebody has an event where they need help from next response,
mhm.
how exactly does that process work? How do they find out about you guys? How do you guys find out about the need and stuff like that?
Um, we watch Facebook and the news a lot. If we see something that has popped up, or has occurred, we will reach out, give
Hmm.
them all of our information, ask them to, maybe relay it over to the family or individual, and that's how we get with a lot of people. Word of mouth has been great. Um, we actually had the Red Cross reach out to us,
Oh,
which
oh,
was
let's.
awesome.
All
Yeah,
right, all right.
for our local chapter, and they asked if they could include our information in their packets. And
That's
obviously
huge.
we said, "Absolutely." Yeah, yeah, it was
Yeah,
huge. We were like, "Yeah, absolutely, you can do that." I still need to meet up and give them some business cards, but they have all of our info to give to people.
perfect.
So, yeah, that definitely helps. And, like I said, just word of mouth is big. Facebook,
Mm,
you see something on Facebook, we'll reach out.
that's awesome. I love it. What if you had to guess between starting this, what probably felt like it was going to be just something for their local neighborhood into now
Mhm,
counties wide, how
mhm.
many families so far have you guys been able to help so far?
In our first year, we were still, trying to establish ourselves, and we didn't actually get anyone to or have anybody contact us
Hmm.
or to be in touch with somebody to actually help until August.
Okay.
So from August to December of 2024, we helped, I'd say approximately 30 people. So
Nice. That's
not a
yeah.
yeah, wasn't a large amount, but for being our first year and just starting, that it was big for us.
Mm,
Last year for 2025, so our 2nd year in operation, we were able to triple that and plus. So we ended up with 100 or 101, I forget what it was, people and 2 dogs.
that's fantastic. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I'm sorry. Was it 101 families or 101 people so far?
People.
Perfect. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a stat, honestly. So I mean, you kind of tickled it a little bit earlier, as far as a lot of people hear things when people's houses burn down and they need help and stuff like that. But there are other instances in emergencies or changes in life that happen for the listeners, and whatever 6 viewers we might actually ever get with this. What are some other kinds of things that you in next response understand that is a life emergency that you guys can be there to help them with, as far as getting them, picking them up and getting them back on their feet and stuff like that, that are not necessarily fire calls?
So basically, any hardship, anything that people are going through, just a rough time in their life. So whether it be, like I had said about loss of employment, maybe they lost their job, they have kids, or it's just them, and they just need that little bit of help, some new clothes or anything. Um, they need that new couch. Their couch is bad,
Hmm.
and they need that. Um, Domestic situations. A lot of the time, I've not with this, but in my past, I've seen too much where people, and I'm not saying men or women, it's both. People need to get out and they need out now.
Hmm.
So they don't have the opportunity to, pack their whole house up and get the moving van going, and they're getting out tonight, right now, and they can't take anything but maybe a backpack if they can even do that. Sometimes it's nothing but what's on their backs.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, there's things like that. Um, no, we didn't we w shouldn't say we didn't need to assist. We were contacted to assist, but we ended up not needing to. But another situation, it opened my eyes, not thinking. There are times where foster families, they get a
Mm.
child in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, guess what? You got a newborn baby on your hands. And,
Hmm.
what do you do? So we try to help as much as we can. If we have the supplies to help, we do.
I love it. Two supplies, actually. Let's hit that for a second. So, what those that want to be able to help, and this can be anybody from wherever in the world can help. This does not have to be folks that are listening and watching. It does not have to be people from the immediate area. What are some of the things that that right now you're really sort of in need of yourselves, and how can they go about getting some of that information to you? Like, what's the best way to contact, and all of that good stuff, So I gave you a couple of things there to
Yeah.
chew on.
Sure. So, things we're really looking for right now, um, we are very low on children's and men's clothing. Those are the big things. Um, we don't have a lot of shoes either, but pretty
Okay.
much like women's clothing, we have a ton of women's clothing in all different sizes. Um, but we accept everything from bedding, clothing, home furnishings, housewares, you
Okay.
know, just school supplies.
Mm.
These kids need to, have their backpack and all their school supplies. Um, maybe some toys or something. But predominantly it would be clothing that we supply for people. As far as getting it to us, that would be tough, depending on your location because of where we are located.
Sure.
So I mean, we can, like our local donors, they will give us a call or shoot us a Facebook message or something, and we'll say, "Hey, we'll meet at such and such time at this convenience store," and we'll just meet them there and put it in our car, take it from theirs, put it in ours, and off we go.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Fantastic. I mean, that works out. Um, where can people find contact information for you as far as social media and stuff like that?
sure. So we are under Pennsylvania Next Response on Facebook. You just Pennsylvania Next Response, it'll pop up. It has the Pennsylvania little outline with four little people on top. That's what our profile looks like. Well, for now it does. I'm sure we'll be updating things. Our website is panextresponse.org. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what our tagline is for Instagram, but we don't use Instagram a whole lot. It's mostly Facebook. And if you're on the website, there's actually a form there too that you can apply.
Perfect. Um, that we'll hit that one.
Yeah,
So
whoops,
somebody
it's
applies. So
actually so oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So we also have a phone number, and it's
okay,
814-408. It's our old one, I believe. Sorry. Now that I look at it, it's not. So 814-990-5671. We just changed the 3 in the middle. We were 408 when we first started, and then we had to switch who we went through. So we were able to take the last 4 digits, but not the first 3.
that
So
happens.
814-990-5671.
I will make sure we put this on our website when we
Awesome.
upload the episode and everything.
Thank you.
Um, so I guess you can. So for those, because there could be somebody listening that does need help. They go into the website, they fill out the application. How long typically is, a response from somebody from Next Response and all that kind of stuff like that?
We will respond. It's, within the day, we'll
Okay.
respond, as far as communications go. And just depending on what they need, where they're located, it kinda depends on, a couple different factors, how quickly we get it to them.
Okay. I like that. Have I guess we'll get to some gut check reality stuff, and we'll be careful
Sure.
with, no names or anything like that. Has
Mhm.
there ever been an instance in which, and this is more, this kind of gives us a chance to look at the operations side of the world. Has there ever been a time when you just had to turn somebody away or something like that because either what they were looking for is something you couldn't do, or it didn't fit your morals or anything like that?
So, there have been a couple times where we didn't have what people needed. They may have needed that couch at the time that we just didn't have it, or, they need a stove and we had no stoves. So there have been times like that that it does happen. We've only had one instance where we had to, because of our morals, that we
Hmm.
had to turn one person away. And it was because of a legal issue
Sure.
and something we did not want our name associated with. So
There's
we
nothing wrong with that.
had to turn them down. Yeah.
No, that is, it is what it is.
Yep.
It's there. It is something
We
that
have to protect ourselves as well.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Um. So obviously, you felt that there was a gap in the need and stuff like that
Mhm.
that wasn't, completely being filled. Um. If you could pinpoint a need, and we really talked a little bit at the very beginning, but what did you see that was missing that you knew that only the small group of people that run Next Response actually could fill the void? Like, what void was that?
Um, timelines. Timelines,
Okay.
definitely. So I don't wanna drop names. Um, certain organizations, they are there for you maybe that night right then, and here's 2 nights that you can have, and then you're kinda on your own.
Hmm.
We wanted to be able to step in and say, "Okay, now that" we always say after the alarms. So now that the scene is cleared and things, not everybody's right on you at that second, we can step in and, supply you with those clothing that clothing that you need, or, those supplies. We tell everybody that we are in contact with, if after we have delivered the initial, donation, if there is anything that they need, to please reach out to us at any point in time. Um, if we have it, we'll give it to them, and if we don't, we can try to look around and see if we could find somebody that, would like to donate that item so that we can get it to them. Um, we have had people that we're still in contact with. We had one family that, actually, I believe that was the Huntington one, um, young couple,
Hmm.
and they, like, early 20s, and they turned out to be so awesome, and they help us now.
No
So
way.
Yeah, so when there are, instances of things happening and, like, near them, they'll contact us and they'll say, "Hey, this is what's going on, and, maybe you can help them out." And if we can, there's a halfway point where they work is a halfway point, and we'll meet them at their work and transfer everything over to their car, and then they'll go and they'll deliver it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Well, you get to see it come full circle there, which
right.
leads into another question then that I one of many questions I'll have for you. You get to see emergencies on both side of the aisle, so to speak. What is one thing that us as firefighters have no freaking clue what we're doing as far as helping families post putting their we'll focus more specifically on fires, I guess, for today's
Okay,
episode. But what is one thing that we certainly suck the most at when it comes to showing
cool.
compassion and stuff like that, I guess. You know, like where have you seen that we're missing the buck and we need to fix it in the fire service, I should say.
So I think the fire service does an amazing job, and I'm not just saying that because I am a first responder, but I think they do an amazing job with people. You touched it though. The the best thing you can do for somebody in that situation is compassion. If it's a medical thing, your bedside manner.
Yeah, it's
Those
true.
are those are the two big things I would recommend is to make sure you have that compassion. Think of it as what would you do if this was your home? What would you do if this was your family, your child, your grandparent, whatever? How would you react and how would you hold yourself? And
I like
that's
it.
yeah. I mean, all people are looking for is somebody to be understanding, a little bit of compassion, medically, the bedside manner, you know, just be kind. Ellen
Sure.
DeGeneres says it best. Be kind.
Yep, she sure does. What is one corner of the room full of help that you can't quite reach yet with next response?
Getting to those other 2 counties.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's preventing you from doing it? Just sheer size and lack of staff?
Yes. Yes.
All
Both.
right.
Yeah.
So
Now
that's a call to action
we
for
do have
those that are
staff
listening.
though. Yeah, we do have some staff though that said we actually had one of our volunteers said, "I'll drive, I don't care." Yeah, and I s but, it might be 2 hours away, and he's, "Oh, I don't care, what am I gonna do? I'll take it up." So
Sure.
yeah, but not quite
That
yet.
Give it time. I mean,
Yeah,
look how
give it time.
far you've gone in, I mean,
2 years.
barely a little over a year. So
Yeah. Or yeah.
it'll get there.
Mhm.
It'll certainly get there. Um, how some of the areas I think some people need help with a lot nowadays is with mental health illness and stuff like that.
Yes.
Has there been any discussion or thought process as far as bringing that into the realm of services that might be possible to give from Pennsylvania North? Jesus Christ. Next response.
Um, we have not discussed that yet, but I would not be opposed to having literature on, or contact information on different agencies that we could hand out potentially. I would not be
Perfect.
opposed to that at all. Mm-mm.
And
No,
that
because I think
that in
that's
and of
huge.
itself is probably enough.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
think
mean, mental
I
health
think
is
if you
such
get
a
too
huge
deep into it,
topic
yeah.
right now. Yeah.
Awesome. Um so obviously this work can, and this is a question I usually ask a lot of guests on the shows, is mentally we can only hold so much in our fuck it bucket before it gets too full.
Yes.
And if it gets too full before we dump a little bit off, we start getting some on our shoes and it becomes a really big and bad situation.
Hmm.
Yes, you are only in a little bit. This is an extremely rewarding portion of helping people get themselves back on their feet. But it does expose you obviously to seeing some serious, personal hardships from people that you may or may not know. It given your areas, the counties are huge, but I feel that down there everybody knows everybody. at least
Yes.
at a cousin level.
Yes.
Um, so what methods do you use and as other people use to help sort of empty that bucket a little bit when they need to and stuff like that?
So you have to find a way to relax. Everybody has a different way of doing so. Some people go for a run, or go for a walk. I'm only running if someone's chasing me. Not gonna happen.
Very
Um,
true. Same.
yeah.
Same.
Now I like meditation myself. I love to just have like a self-guided meditation session is it's so relaxing and it just really helps you clear your head. Um, Not everybody's into that. It's
Sure.
everybody has their own thing. So yeah. Yeah, there's
I
a
love
point
it.
where you have to just step back and relax a little bit, take that little bit of time for yourself. Everybody needs a vacation.
Mm. I it probably goes without saying, and by and large, given that your local Red Cross chapters reached out to try to
Mhm.
collab with you guys,
Yeah.
have you run into an instance yet where it feels like there's competing organizations that are trying to help?
No. No, I haven't had that happen at all yet. If anything, they're all trying to help.
Sure.
Like the Red Cross had reached out. We also have a local organization that helps first responders on scene to help with rehabilitation, and that's Box
Okay.
11. I'll
Yep.
drop a name. I'm gonna drop a name. Box 11, and, one of their volunteers has all of our information, and I know she has reached out to us many times.
I love it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, I think we've covered the nonprofit pretty damn good. So let's touch on some stuff that I don't think I've even known yet. Um, I tickled it a little bit in your intro. Your grandfather, who was a fire chief. I don't think that I ever knew this.
Yeah.
So walk us through when you felt like is this something recently that you've discovered, or because
Mm,
I don't think Shawnee's even told me this. So let's learn a little bit of heritage here. And she's probably
yeah.
I
So
guarantee she's sitting next to you being like, I sure the fuck have. Um, but I
she
doubt
did
it.
too.
So let's let her rip. Let's learn
Yeah,
about the family's history and
sure.
um the our I should say our faithful listeners will have known who the daughters are, Shawnee and Sierra. But walk us through how you got into it. Like, what was the catalyst seeing the girls do it and all that stuff? Like, let's learn more about you now.
So, um, let's see. Shawnee, so your wife, she actually joined first. She was the first of all of us. She joined the fire company. I'm a mom and scared the shit out of me, right? Um, but I backed her on it. I did. I backed her on it. But she became a member first,
Okay.
and then her sister joined. And then I was going through a little bit of a rough time and was still trying to find myself again.
Hmm.
And a lot of my friends were members of our local fire department. And I was like, you know what? I'm around them all the time. My daughters are doing it. What the hell? Let's give her a whirl.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a little late to the game with my age here, but we're gonna give it a whirl. And that was 10 years ago. And I'm still involved, but the first
I love it.
yeah, the first year, um, was when I learned from a childhood friend who had only lived a couple blocks from me my whole life. Um, he was like, "You," and he was really big into the fire department from the time he was young, and he was like, "Well, you do know your pap was in there, right?" And I was just like, "What are you talking about?" Like, nobody had ever told me, my mother had never told me, and this would have been her dad, so my,
Yep. Yep.
maternal grandfather. And he was like, "Oh my god, yeah," he's like, "He was the chief," and then I found out, like, he had helped get the company running, and so I kinda knew a little bit about that, like, prior,
Mm.
but the whole chief thing and all that, I had no clue whatsoever. I thought, maybe he responded to a couple calls or so I had no idea how involved he was. Um, so that friend of mine actually had a book that more like a history book of everything that had happened in the fire company, and lo and behold, there was my grandfather's name.
That's so cool. Why, I don't wanna say that it was intentionally kept secret, but how the hell do you think you never
Yeah.
knew about it, I guess?
Nobody just I guess nobody ever talked about it. Like I said, the most I ever said was, "Oh, yeah, Pap helped, with the fire station up there." That's all pretty much we're like, "He helped out with that fire station," and it was just like, "Oh, well, okay then,"
Yeah,
What
no
did he
discussion
do?
of meals
Yeah, like, what was he
missed
doing
or
there?
holidays skipped, like, nothing.
Nothing,
A
nothing.
little
No.
humility,
And
I
he
love
and
it.
he had passed away when trying to think, I was 4 when he passed away.
Okay.
Yeah, it just there wasn't a lot
That
of
makes sense, I
discussion around it.
suppose.
Yeah. So I
No,
didn't and I
that's
wasn't old
true.
enough to see any of it if he was, still running back then, and if I did see it, I never retained it because I was young. Yeah.
We don't
I
have
don't
to
retain
retain it
things
even when we're
now.
old,
Say I don't
honestly.
retain things now.
Yeah, fair enough. Same. That's why
Yeah,
I write notes when I do these episodes and podcasts and shit
absolutely.
because I forget.
I used to make fun
Um,
of my mother for notes, and now I'm, like, the note taker. Yes.
it's kind of funny how it sucks when the shoe turns to the other foot, I suppose.
Sure does, yeah.
But no, I don't ever remember having that conversation. So it's it's neat to think, that definitely there's deeper connection, and you got to wonder if there's some, I don't want to say sorcery behind it, but
Mhm. It's in the
if
genes,
it's in the
that's what I
blood.
keep
Yeah, it's
saying.
in the
It's in the
yeah,
genes.
exactly. No, I love it. I think what you're doing is really cool. It's been really fun to watch. We really can't do a ton being a very quick 8-hour drive away, but we have certainly
You've contributed,
tried to
though.
give what we can. Yeah, we have. I
Mhm.
mean, and I'm gonna work on
Absolutely.
going through my closet tonight before I go to bed because I definitely won't need the same size shirts soon.
No,
So,
you won't.
um, the size of clothing before I do forget, and those that are listening, children's and men's, any sizes across the gamut is what we're looking for.
Any
Perfect.
sizes. Yep.
All right.
I think
Um,
the hardest clothing to go and find for people, is for men, and it's pants.
mhm.
Because
Okay.
women, we just have, "Oh, here's a size
Sure.
10," and that's what you get. Sometimes you'll get a size 10 long, or whatever it is. Men, you go by waist and length. So
Okay.
people tell us, "Hey, we need a 34, 32."
Yep.
We're like, Yeah, best I can do is a 34, 30." You know?
I feel that. I am 100% a 34-32, and if I go 34-30, then there's not enough room in areas that there needs to be. Uh,
Right.
it actually so it brings up a really good point. What are some things that you see it we'll use it kinda like there's a lot of stuff that has the little recycling triangle in the back, but it's really not recyclable. What are some things that you guys get a lot that it's like, this really isn't something that we can, give back to a family in need that you seem to, I don't wanna say always get, but there's gotta be some hard and fast stuff that's like, "Hey, we don't don't send this 'cause it's really we can't give that to people," and stuff like that.
Yep. So, things that we tell people not to send, um, bras and underwear,
Mm,
most people aren't gonna do it. Um, so we ask if you do that, like, underwear, like a packaged, brand new
sure.
packaged,
Yep.
like, people aren't gonna wear other people's underwear, that's just gross.
Mm,
Um, as far as I'm concerned, like, I look at it as if I would wear it, I'll donate it.
fair. Yep.
Okay, so, if you we have had oh my goodness, I won't go into some of the gross stuff that we have had donated to us, but there have been things where, like, the elastic is, like, dry rot, it's
Yeah, of
falling
course.
apart, stains,
Yep.
holes, and tears, and things that should have just gone in the garbage, and now we're getting rid of those because
Well,
we're
they're
not
letting you guys throw
somebody.
it away.
Yeah, pretty much, yes. Yes, we have had some pretty gross things in bags.
That's funny. Now, have you had anything that somebody donated, you're like, "I don't think we'll ever use this," and all of a sudden it turned out to be like, "That was the most unique thing we ever got that actually helped a family out."
Um, Off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything.
You're gonna be now.
I know, you're putting me on the spot here. Uh, what is one big thing that went out? There have been I never thought that we'd be giving away a cot or an air
Mm,
mattress.
sure,
Didn't think about it, but yeah, how common would you think that would be? I mean, if you just lost everything, you need something to sleep on.
that's
Um,
true.
yeah, cribs. Uh, we had that was one. There we go. Okay, the one thing that
I knew I could get it out of you.
there was a like a living room set that was donated to us, and it was a very nice set, but it was that 70s style, I'll say, like something you
Yeah.
probably saw in your grandparents' house, well, the
Mm,
wooden armrests and, most of it's all wood except for the cushion,
yep,
like themselves, like the removable cushion, like that style. And like I said, it was a really nice set, but we didn't think anybody was really gonna go for it because of the age and the
sure.
style. Most people are looking for like the microfiber or whatever. This was not that. And we had one um one family come up and the mother saw it and went, "Oh my god, that's exactly what I wanted." And we were just all like, "What?"
Okay,
Like,
sure.
"Are
Yeah,
you serious?"
if
You know,
you
and
say so.
yes, "Here you go, you can have it." And we were all like, "Yay, we got it out of there."
Look at the
It
floor
made more
space
so
we
much
just
more room
cleaned with
for us.
this.
Yeah, so much more room that we could now bring so much more in. But, yeah, that was the one thing, and I thought, "Man, we're really gonna have a hard time getting rid of that," and gone.
That's awesome. So I guess one thing that I think we don't really talk about, so we talk about a lot of the physical donations and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And obviously monetary donations always help.
That would be
What
amazing because 'cause we're
what are
low.
some
We're very low.
fair? So what are some things like do we do I almost said do. I had to be careful with that.
Please tell miss what
Um
you do, because I
do
would've called you on that.
right? Have there been instances where you guys have done fundraisers, whether it be, what do you guys call it? I know like you guys do hoagie sales and stuff like that. Have you guys done stuff like that for Pennsylvania Next Response and stuff like that yet? Or are we still kind of
Um,
working into that realm of the world?
yes, we're still working into it, so we had to wait to have our 501 to do most of that. So now that we have
Perfect.
it, we can move forward. So, yeah, we are looking at, a couple different fundraisers we're going to have probably rather soon. We're gonna be starting some of those, but like you said, the monetary, that would be awesome because
Mm.
we're very, very low right now. So we
I
would definitely
almost,
need those fundraisers too to get
I'll
that
toss an
going.
idea out there.
Sure.
So we obviously help after times of need. And there are a lot of good speakers, people who go to universities and stuff.
Mhm.
I wonder if getting an event together with some national recognition and stuff like that to get people to, like fire service people to come in, you pay a ticket, and that money is offset. So that might be a good fundraiser idea for you guys. And I
Yeah.
may know a gentleman who might be interested in helping.
Maybe one,
Yeah, I know
might
a
be able to pick
few.
one out.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's a
gosh,
that's
that's
a great
awesome.
idea to throw around, yeah. Mhm.
So I think we're good. I mean, I feel we've covered everything pretty well. Is
Mhm.
there anything that we have not talked about that the viewers and listeners, really need to hear or anything like that?
Um, I think we pretty much covered everything as well. Uh,
Okay,
yeah, I was actually looking to see we have if people are looking to help us and they're far away and all they're looking for is maybe to make a donation on our website, which is the panextresponse.org. There is a button there to donate if anybody would
perfect,
like to. Yeah.
awesome.
And,
I love it.
I mean, we can always get the mailing address out there too so that, you could, if people wanna send a check. Some I don't do checks.
Sure.
A lot of people
Amen.
still do. Yep, yep.
Yep.
Well, there's ways to donate to us that maybe isn't just, physical clothing or household items.
Perfect. Now, I'll end this like I do every show. We have not talking a whole lot about the fire service, and it's fun for a change, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
But we have to end the show. I always do. For the firefighter listening who's just starting their journey, what is your unadulterated and raw piece of advice for them?
Um, as I said before, compassion, definite compassion, patience, and just remember to care. Just care about people. Always keep in mind that could be your family member, and how would you want them treated? And just have patience and stick with it,
Beautiful.
and
Couldn't have
keep
said it better.
learning. Yeah, fire service, keep learning, because
Mm.
it's a very common phrase, but once you think you know everything, that's your time to get out. Because the
So
whole
true.
Yep, because your whole entire career is going to be learning.
I
Never
love
have
it.
too much education.
Mm. I think that's it.
Alrighty.
Um, Thank you so much for spending time with me today.
Yeah, thank you for
Um,
having me.
Of course. And to the listeners, thank you for spending time with us today on The Passionate Leader. If something today hit home, don't just sit with it, share it. Follow The Passionate Leader across all platforms and pull up a chair every Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on TikTok, where leadership meets the kitchen table and real talk drives real change. If you want deeper conversations and first access to exclusive offers, consider joining us on the Patreon, or on Patreon rather, and step into the inner circle. As always, though, be the kind of leader someone else is praying for, and no matter what comes your way, remember this: lead with passion, serve with humility, and leave no room for bottom feeders. Until we meet again, guys, stay safe.